This podcast is a member of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts and content creators, visit bio.link/red5.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
What is happening, Scuttlebutt Nation? The butt to my scuttle, Brad, is in the house. How's it going?
Heyo.
Hey,
It's Andor Eve. I'm doing great.
It's Andor Eve, and it's exciting stuff. We're going an hour early because screw it. We got to talk a little Star Wars. Can't wait.
Yeah, there we go.
Can't wait. This has been a little bit of a roller coaster weekend, Star Wars Celebration. We got Andor coming around the corner, and it is literally 24 hours away. We're into the hours mark. This is fantastic.
You know, you said many times it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan, and
yeah,
I said that, but I think it is.
I think it's been said by many people.
Yep. I mean, we're finally getting more. I think the good will outweigh the bad. Finally.
Yeah. So I'm excited for Andor tomorrow, and it's, I know it seems like they're really rolling out the marketing machine on this. Every time I log on, there's like either a new clip or some new news. We got some news about some casting situations that's going on. So I'm kind of like suffering through that.
That's all your stupid posts on X about it.
Yes, exactly.
Was it confirmed it was him, or is that still just a guess?
No, it's confirmed. It has been confirmed. Well, first of all, it's been confirmed, but not. It's confirmed that Jimmy Smits has been recast, but not by Zendaya.
Not by Zendaya. That's
no.
She would have brought a certain gravitas to the role.
Oh man, you know what? You know what's funny though? In an alternate universe, Zendaya is Bail Organa.
I'm not even going to humor that. I hope they got somebody good though, because he's pretty synonymous with that part.
Sure, yeah, and they already announced who it's going to be, and I'm happy. I'm happy with the choice. You're gonna make
so happy you forgot who.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dun dun. Yeah. It is that one guy. Benjamin Bratt.
Benjamin. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, he actually looks kind of like a young Jimmy Smits, a younger Jimmy Smits. And obviously,
I feel like I haven't seen him in a long time.
I think I think you're right. And by the way, spoilers. Yeah, I'm sorry if you're watching and you didn't know, and now you do. We apologize. We apologize.
No, we don't.
I guess. Yeah, Damon's got the Star Trek guy knows what the Star Wars news is. Go figure. Go figure.
Benjamin Bratt. Yeah, he's probably about the same age as.
Could be. Yeah.
He's born in 63, 61 years old.
Yeah.
I think he'll do well at that role.
I think so too. What are your thoughts on recasting other legacy characters? I know I've told you that I'm a really big fan of the technology.
Well, you can't get past Han Solo. I think that's
right.
The problem.
And so, but what do you think of I don't know. Hopefully in the future, obviously in 2 years, Star Wars is going to be 50 years old. And, I posed this question a couple of nights ago. What does Star Wars have to do to survive another 50 years? And what are your thoughts on recasting the main three characters to maybe
do you still
show some
want
more
to
story?
see them? Do you still want to see? Do we have enough? I mean, I guess that's the first question. Do we have enough stories about them or with them? I mean, what would you like to see more stories told about Luke and Leia, or has that ship sailed?
No, I don't know if the ship has sailed. I don't think it has for me. I
Again,
think
we're talking about that you have millennia to work with.
right.
Well, I mean, it stops at episode 6, but you have a millennia before episode 6 to work with.
Yeah, yeah. I
Do
don't
you
know.
really need?
Yeah. Charles, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for joining us an hour early. Well, for me, I think there's always going to be stories to tell in that time frame, and I think um, I don't know that that for me, I think Star Wars is that sweet spot, the original trilogy. A
No
couple
actor is going to give you
no,
a
but
Carrie Fisher or
right,
even a Mark Hamill for Luke Skywalker.
yeah,
Uh,
I
so,
agreed,
I mean, it's either you use some computer technology to make them look like that, or they'll never live up to the original person, which is not really fair to them. I don't think.
right. To the new actors, you mean?
Right.
Yeah. Well, what about this? What if the story is so well written and so incredibly compelling that
You're
you really
funny.
just, you know, you just forget that
You're a funny
Zendaya
guy.
is playing the new Princess Leia.
I mean, that's a capital I, capital F. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
and it can be done. Like, I don't think we've forgotten how to make a good movie completely. Would I like to see? Oh, man, that's tough.
Because here's the thing. I mean, Star Wars survives because of the stories, obviously. And if you get, we've seen it kind of, in life support the last couple of years. But I think Andor is kind of like, I mean, it's Andor's bringing you back from the fandom.
Well, sure, but I mean, if you saw Luke on screen, could you suspend your belief or whatever long enough for you to believe that that's Luke Skywalker, even though it's a different actor? Considering how I mean, I guess you just didn't like the actor that played Solo,
Right.
but you haven't shut up about that since the Solo movie came out. So, can you turn off your own beliefs long enough to actually accept this person as? Because I wouldn't mind seeing Luke and more adventures, but
As long as Luke doesn't look like Amy Poehler from the Luke actor that they got at Galaxy's Edge.
yeah.
But
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think there's plenty of time to work with that we don't need to actually
sure.
focus on those characters.
Yeah. What would be nice too is just to see stories in that time frame and mention them and just know that they're alive doing something, whatever, but have maybe stories surrounding those characters. And you hear almost like, oh, look, there's Luke Skywalker, he's down the
Yeah,
hall
I
to
think
the
they'd be
right.
better off as cameos.
Hmm.
If with series like Andor and stuff like that, I think they're better off as cameos than having their own feature
Sure.
length.
Well, and that this begs the question too with Ahsoka. With the second season of Ahsoka, we know that the story kind of goes into Grand Admiral Thrawn and the threat of the galaxy because of him. It would be weird to see that story without someone as big character-wise as Luke Skywalker, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
So how are they going to do that?
I don't know, but I mean, Hayden Christensen's coming back, so we got
Yeah.
that, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not that excited about. Now they said it is going to be darker. I mean, that's what they said at Celebration. Apparently, that it's going dark a little bit for season 2. I think it's what it said, which would be good because I thought the first season was completely inconsequential.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
When it started going anywhere is when the season ended.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Maria, what's up? Unlocking Lore is in the house. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to be talking about some of the announcements that we heard from Star Wars Celebration tonight. And there are quite a few. We'll let you know which ones are our favorite, which ones are, as Brad says, inconsequential, and which ones we're excited for, and which ones were not so much.
And how about some things that we're missing as well?
Yeah, definitely saw some stuff that might be missing.
Backburnered. like permanently, probably,
Hopefully.
like the Ray movie.
Well, yeah.
Was there any talk
Although
about the Ray? Was there any talk about the
I
Ray
think
movie?
I think KK came out and said that, there it's happening, but she wasn't there. What's interesting to me as far as people, things that were missing, there were a lot of legacy characters or people that you usually associate Star Wars Celebration with. The actor that plays Wicket, what's his name?
Warwick Davis.
Yeah, he is usually a mainstay at the Celebration stage, and he was nowhere to be found. Somebody pointed out that the only legacy character from the original trilogy was Anthony Daniels that popped
Well,
up.
he's not going to miss an
Right,
event. I
exactly.
don't. I don't think he's missed an event this entire 50 years.
Yeah,
Maybe Warwick was mad because of the treatment they gave Willow or something.
could be. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I would love to be a fly on the wall in the boardroom to figure out really why that was done. I mean, I know it didn't get ratings. I mean, the Acolyte kind of suffered the same consequences, but that's still there. So I don't know. I don't know what the difference is, other than some weird licensing thing that if it's still on the platform that they had to pay somebody. Um, Other than that, I'm not sure exactly why they would take that out.
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. Let's talk Star Wars Celebration, because there's some stuff to talk about. Let's put little Japanese Darth Vader there.
That's nice.
I like that. Yeah, it's a nice logo.
Hey, where'd you put your Vader? Where's your Japanese Vader?
Oh my god. He's on the door as I walk in. My jaw dropped when I opened the box.
It's freaking beautiful, huh?
It is. Very, very beautiful.
Speaking of posting things, though, as it turns out, I have, as you can, well, you can't. I'm not done yet, but I have too much nerd stuff. This might surprise some people.
Huh.
I have too much nerd stuff to fit in one room, and I
wouldn't know anything about that.
So in the house here is going to be primarily my D&D and magic type stuff on these walls. However, the house that we just bought came with a free shed out back. When I say shed, I mean it's a full room with AC and everything else.
Wow.
So I'm going to be able to have an entire shrine to Star Wars out back.
Very
nice. I don't know. I might set up some podcasting stuff out there and do this show from out there.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Finally have enough room, maybe have enough room to put all my stuff out there. But
that'd be great.
Cool. It'll take a while to get that set up.
Excellent. Put some nice little lights behind you and make them pulsate.
Yeah.
Excellent. Folks in the chat obviously are having their own conversation, and it's good to see. Yeah. It's good to see.
Good to see Nicole here. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Nicole, obviously she heads the Red 5 reading club, and I don't read a lot. And
pretend I'm holding mine up that you sent me.
Yeah.
And thank you for this. Yeah, I got the same one.
It's actually thicker than I thought, but
it was. Yeah.
Look at that. Maybe it's funny. I just turned this thing around right before we went live, and I didn't realize the Imperial.
I don't think I even looked at the back of the book, to tell you the truth. That's beautiful.
But this is going to be a really nice read, because if you
it starts off with quotes from episode 3, so it's gonna be
all right.
good.
Did you see this?
Oh yeah, of course. It's got the poster.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, what's the name of the first chapter is pretty evocative. Chapter 1, The Holy City.
Yep.
Wow. Especially on a day like today, that means a little more, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Haven't had a reason to read Star Wars in a long time.
Yeah,
So, nice.
I've been doing our comic book reviews with Spencer, and that's been going pretty good. Wednesday night is our last show of the series, Darth Vader Dark Visions, which is it was a lot of fun. But speaking of Star Wars stuff,
Speaking of Star Wars,
so in the next couple of weeks during May, I've got so much stuff to kind of give away, and we're gonna have to kind of figure out a spot to kind of give our listeners some instructions on how to win some of this stuff. I got this really
just
cool.
send it to me, man. Like,
Just send it.
you
No,
can't
well,
give stuff away. You already proved that.
not until you have your shed ready. But I've got this cool little
That's fair.
Jeep Wrangler Jurassic Park edition.
I always love that thing.
I bought a whole bunch of these. These are cool. I got Danny one, but this little tiny
So is that
Millennium
the mini
Falcon
pop?
and House. Yeah, the mini.
Yeah, so
mini
I got that one as well, and I gotta stay away from those mini pops, man. Like, I don't need another thing, and they're so cool. They're cute.
They certainly are.
And they're expensive for what they are.
Yeah.
I gotta stay away.
So I bought this for myself, but I already had one, so I guess I'll give it away. It's Biker Scout.
Was there only one trooper on Endor? You should probably keep it because a patrol is 2 troopers, as we all know.
2 troopers. Well, I've got my vintage ones. And last but not least, again, I was going to keep this for myself, but as you can see, I'm running out of space. The Imperial troop transport, the little mini squadron. These are really cool. I've got the Tidarium shuttle is
off the drawings back in the 70s.
Yeah.
That's why they made that for Solo.
Very nice. So I got a whole bunch of stuff, and then we'll think of how to send these out to some people, maybe someone in the chat.
Yeah, if someone wants to come up with a giveaway idea that people will actually do, because
this I found at a thrift store, and I don't know if this is original art or what.
that looks like original art. That looks like somebody. That's pretty cool, though.
Maybe when the Ray movie comes out, I'll give this out.
It's going to skyrocket in price.
Don't be mean, but no, it's pretty cool though.
It's going to shoot from 250 up to 350. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. Or it depends on where the decimal point is, right?
That's right. It's $2.50 to $3.50.
All right, excellent. All right, so I'm gonna use. I forgot what links I gave you, but let's I'm going to let's put up some stuff here on the.
See, I got 2 monitors now. I can actually.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Actually, use that.
All right, we're gonna use IGN and their website, and we'll drop some Star Wars Celebration news here from Japan this weekend. It was really wonderful to see some folks that follow us that made the jump into hyperspace and went to Japan to enjoy all the cool stuff that a Star Wars Celebration can offer you. Which Star Wars Celebration did you go to, Brad?
That was Orlando back in what was that 17? I think it was, or 17.
Cool.
Or 19. Well, I don't know. I forget what year it was. Apparently, I guess the next one will be in California.
Yes, and
back to California.
Back to California, and I have a feeling that you might see a whole bunch of Red 5 network people in California in 2 years.
What, 27?
27, correct.
Yeah, I got time. I got time to prepare between now and then.
Danny's in the house. Thank you, Danny, for showing up and saying hello there.
Doing what is this show called? Scuttlebutt.
Yes, that's the show.
My teleprompter ran out.
All right. So first of all, we the website has like a question here, but it's got some really it's got a nice list of what things that they announced.
Favorite announcement.
Now here's the thing: when I heard the announcement about Ryan Gosling being in a Star Wars movie, I treated it as conjecture, rumor, unsubstantiated, etc., etc. But I guess it's real. Ryan Gosling starring in a Star Wars movie called Starfighter. And what are your thoughts on that?
So I don't actually have a problem with Ryan Gosling for what he's doing for playing a starfighter. I assume he's going to be the main character, so he's going to be in a starfighter. I think he'll do pretty well in that sort of. He's got that look to him and
Sure.
sort of that attitude about him. I think he'll do fine. This goes back to what you're saying about good script and good directing and everything else. I am more happy about him being cast as an actor than everything else about that movie. As in, why are we setting this movie in the Rise of Skywalker time
Era.
period? Like, why is this? Is this replacing whatever they were going to do with Rogue Squadron that they talked about a few years ago? Is that
Yeah, could
dead
be.
and buried now? I
Yeah,
assume.
could be.
If it was the same thing, but in the Rogue Squadron era, pre or directly post Return of the Jedi, I'd be
Right.
a lot more excited about it. I mean, I think as as with all these projects, it's probably going to look really good. It
Sure.
just depends on whether it's going to be written very well.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess they would have to kind of, formulate who the bad guy is or who the antagonist is in that era. Um, I don't know. Are they going to recycle and say that these are remnants of the First Order?
Is this? Did
Um,
it say it was post? I thought it said it was
I
in
thought it was
the.
post Rise of Skywalker. That's what I thought.
I thought it was like at the same time. Maybe you might be right.
Yeah,
Um,
at the same
if
time would have been the
Here we go.
Rangers of the Republic.
5 years after the events
Yeah.
of Rise of Skywalker. So, I mean, they only knew about the First Order for like 5 minutes. Like they
Right.
they didn't even know it was a thing for 30 years, and then they knew about it for 5 minutes. That's I think
Yeah.
the course of all three movies. So yeah, I don't know who's left after that.
Yeah.
The Second
Who
Order.
knows?
It's the Second Order.
Second Order. Is that how they're going to structure the next 50 years?
Somehow the First Order is returned.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? But
I hope that's in the opening crawl.
yeah,
Somehow the First Order is returned.
it'll be announced on Fortnite.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Still a long ways away, but
Also, I hate
man,
how many ads are on these stupid websites.
oh yeah,
This is like 1990s web design. This is
Yeah.
horrible.
ads by Google. All right, so we got a first look at the new actor that's going to be playing Balin Skull in Ahsoka,
Yep.
Rory McCann. I think
I think
a lot of people. I thought, yeah, a lot of people were fan casting him, and I think he'll do fine.
I think you will too. Yeah, we kind of talked about him a couple months back when they first announced it, and yeah, I think he'll take the role seriously,
Mhm.
and he knows. I mean, that character was one of the few, I think, redeeming qualities of that series, and I think he knows that, and I think he'll do it justice.
I think so too.
Looks good. Looks
Yeah,
the part.
yeah, and again, getting into Ahsoka, Hayden Christensen returning as Anakin. I don't know, more Force Ghost training or visions of some sort. I don't know.
Yeah, they mentioned the world between the worlds. I think still focusing on that theme,
Yeah,
and really with that theme, you can run that theme as long as you want to, since it exists. It doesn't exist all
yeah.
the time. So
Do you think that's kind of a crutch
yep,
thematically,
yep,
narratively?
it
I know a
sure
lot
is.
of people are not into the world between worlds. Our friend Andrew from Coruscant Radio Underground, I remember we were talking, and he's not a big fan. I know there's other people that are not big fans.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like we'll get them all, but Sam Witwer made a comment, something like. He's been learning from George and Dave Filoni this entire time. Well, it turns out they had secrets, and they kept a lot of the things about the Force a secret, and now they're letting. I don't know if I believe that fully. I think
Right.
they're making some of the stuff up on the fly.
Sure.
I don't. I really don't think George had the story fleshed out this much. It was just a mystical force. I don't. I mean, obviously he was involved in Clone Wars and all that, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it is a crutch. But I mean, it's a good excuse to see Ahsoka and Anakin on screen together. So I'm okay with that.
And I know a lot of people have, have expressed their surprise and their delight as seeing young Ahsoka and Anakin during the Clone Wars era on some of those, flashbacks and things like that. And I don't know if maybe they're going to explore that a little more or give heavens to Betsy, give the fans what they want with that sort of thing. The only thing that worries me is, Dave Filoni obviously did great with the Clone Wars. But the thing that worries me now with live action is that he's responsible for writing all the script for this next season of Ahsoka. And, there's a meme out there where Andor is walking towards the camera, and then on the bottom of the screen, it's the same shot of Andor walking towards the camera, but there's all these cameos around him. Ahsoka's there, Jar Jar's there, Anakin's there, everybody's there with Andor, with Cassian Andor. And the meme is if Dave Filoni wrote Andor.
There's some amount of truth to that.
Yeah.
I mean, he does love the playground, that the sandbox that he built.
Right.
I mean, he still loves the story, though. I mean, I don't know. It just has to make sense. And unfortunately, who mentioned it? Unlocking lore. Yeah, they'll never use it to erase The Last Jedi, but wishful thinking. We'll just cut off that highway in the world between worlds.
Yeah.
Never happened.
And, Dave Filoni also at Celebration mentioned something that, working with Ahsoka and the characters and world that he created, he felt a little selfish. He didn't want to share those toys from his toy box to another writer. I mean, I can understand that as a creative person, you don't want to hand it over. But again, I think some people might need the additional help, especially when it comes to writing. And
he's going to have to learn to share.
Yeah.
I mean, if George, what if George had said that?
Yeah, but I think it's it would be nice for him to hire a team of writers, of really great writers, and then flesh out a really decent story. It can only help, the characters. It can only help the fans, and it can only help the franchise, do better stuff.
I mean, Ahsoka is one of those characters. We've done multiple shows on her now. She's one of those characters where if you wanted to, I mean, there's like an unlimited supply of good stories there because she's in the mix from the prequel era all the way up to, I mean, she's
sure. Yeah.
She might be alive during the sequels. We don't exactly know, but there's decades of stories that you can write there. So he's going to have to learn to share.
Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully he does. But we'll see. And speaking of sharing, the official teaser trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which it is what it is. I don't know if I'm super excited here.
I mean, they say it's going to be the end of it. So, I mean, I never got to the point where I thought I'd be happy that they were going to end the Mandalorian, but
yeah,
because I think season 1 had such promise. I still haven't watched season 3.
Wow, you haven't?
No, I still haven't.
Wow.
Again, it was bad timing when I was still in the Navy. Never got to watch it, and then but I only saw the first or second episodes of it, and it was completely goofy. And I'm like, bad writing, and the characters look like Muppets. So I'm like, I'm done here. So I guess I should watch that first, but I don't care at all.
I have a feeling watching the trailer for the Mandalorian Grogu movie, the teaser, it almost seemed like it's a film that's going to be set up for normal people. like people that may not know who Grogu is, may not
Who is that
understand.
at this
Yeah,
point?
right.
I mean,
Folks that don't have Disney Plus, that are not invested into Star Wars like we are.
well, I'm
Um,
glad it's apparently. I guess Jabba's son's finally is gonna be in it.
oh, that's right. You had to remind
And
me.
I always wondered what the hell happened to him because they showed him in episode 1 of Clone Wars. You know, the little movie that came out, and I don't
Right.
think he was barely mentioned after that. So he's been,
Yeah.
I
So
don't
he's
know.
been MIA, but he's he'll be in this, and he'll be sporting some muscular pecs.
That's what I didn't see it, but that's what I heard. We got pictures of
Um,
the movie.
they're in there. Yeah. New character, Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
And she is science fiction royalty, as they say. And she looks like she's there was a picture of her in her X-Wing fighter pilot outfit. She looks fantastic. So not
Oh
sure
wow,
exactly.
he has been getting his gains. He's been working out
Yeah,
for a slug.
for a
Yeah, I mean
slug.
Sigourney Weaver's always a good cast. I can't think of a role that she's done where she didn't do a good job.
Yeah, she never phones it in. Always top notch.
She seemed to be happy to be there and happy to be involved in that project.
Sure. Yeah.
What any theories on what character she'd be playing?
I have a feeling that she's going to be the driving force of a mission for Mandalorian and Grogu. Again, she's been seen sporting a an X-wing fighter pilot outfit, so I think her character is an X-wing fighter, a pilot of some importance.
How do you think it's going to do without Carl Weathers being involved?
Well, I wonder if they're gonna, say that he was killed off screen, or obviously mention his name.
Or Zendaya is going to be cast?
Zendaya is going to be cast as
Always a
Carl
good,
Weathers.
always a good
Yeah,
cast.
that's a good backup. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. And again, I feel like the movie is just going to be, the series, but with a bigger budget.
Okay. Is he still? He's still a baby, isn't he?
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't care.
yeah, he's a baby.
Does he say any words yet? By the end of season 3, does he say any words?
Not like what you're thinking. And
No,
he,
no, no.
he's in the trailer, and he's still cooing and oohing and ogging.
Yeah, don't care.
So, yeah.
I'll catch it on Disney Plus when it's out the week after on Disney Plus.
Oh, ouch.
I'm just saying, like, how much can you milk that?
Yeah. Well, they're going to. We got some Disney park news. Obviously, one of their big ticket items is Smuggler's Run, and they are updating the Millennium Falcon ride with some Mandalorian and Grogu storylines. So that'll be fun for the kids.
Yeah, don't care.
Okay. All right, this is something
This is
that
the only one that counts in the entire thing.
yeah, I think we're a little excited about this. Whitworth came out and really talked a little bit about this. The executive producer of animation also came out with Sam. Really talked about Maul, Shadow Lord, and I feel like this animated series is going to take place in place of Solo 2. We're going to get a little bit of a backstory on Darth Maul's criminal underpinnings.
So this should be between episode 3 and Solo.
Yes,
It's
obviously.
like a year. I think he said a year after episode 3
Yeah.
for this one, and he's got creative input into the show. We talk about the actors who really know their characters. Talk about Mark Hamill should have
Should have
obviously
had,
his
yes.
advice should have been followed for episode 8.
Yep.
And I love. I mean, for anybody who hasn't done so, go back and watch the video of Sam Witwer talking about how he got cast for Star Killer back in the day for with the Force Unleashed, and how well he knows Star Wars, and now he probably knows Maul better than Ray Park, I would say, at this point. He's
Yeah.
Just like Ewan McGregor with Obi-Wan. I'm pretty sure Whitworth knows that character best, and love the fact that he's involved in. You can see with his interviews there at Star Wars Celebration how passionate he is about that character and how much he loves being involved in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, and they said that he's an encyclopedia. He obviously corrected them, and it was like, no, not an encyclopedia. I'm a holocron of information.
See, there you go.
And
there you go.
It's things like that. And obviously I posted it, tongue in cheek. It would have been nice if Lucasfilm let other actors, weigh in on their characters. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, with the little Last Jedi Luke Skywalker animated GIF there. But I don't know. It just to me, it just makes sense. Why would you, especially for someone like Mark Hamill, who's been playing Luke Skywalker forever, why would you not have his input, or any actor that
and to actively go against it as well? Not to turn this once again to a Last Jedi bashing, but to actively go against what that character is saying. Would you do that with Harrison Ford if he told you how Solo? No, you're just going to go along with. I mean, directors have said they've done that. Like, the "I know" line being ad-libbed pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to, and that was episode 5. So he was already that character. They should probably listen to the actors more.
Yeah, and absolutely. Looks like the chat is also kind of excited for Maul Shadow Lord, and when a new animated show comes out, a lot of talk is directed either against or for the animation style. I know, a lot of people did not like the Resistance animation style. The Rebels animation style was something that people needed to get used to. Maul Shadow Lord also has a very unique looking animation style, and only time will tell if people will accept it. But like I said, I think if the story is compelling enough, most of the other surrounding stuff, issues, whatever you want to call them, will be forgotten as long as the story is good.
Yeah. Was there any even hints about this one before Celebration?
Actually, no. He said Sam Witwer said that he kept the secret for over a year. So nothing, no beans were spilled or anything.
That's pretty good for a project like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got this one, and I know there's also that the Vader book that's coming out as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot that name. Evil something.
Evil Lord.
What is?
No, that's Shadow Lord.
What does your second monitor say there, Brad?
That's what I'm looking at right now. Let's go. Second monitor says something. I don't know.
Nicole, yes. Nicole says, I'm glad we got to see Sam Witwer on the panel a couple of years ago here at C2E2.
Master of Evil.
Master of Evil. Yeah, that's another book that I think is going to be a good read.
Beat you, Nicole. I think I beat you to the answer.
Yeah, Master of Evil.
So mentions that the Charles Soule did a great job with the comics of what happens with Vader right after Revenge of the Sith, and that's true. It talks about this filling in some holes that were not covered in those comics, so that should be pretty good.
That should be pretty interesting. Yes, and speaking of animation, we got news that Star Wars Visions Volume 3 is going to also release. and a couple of details on that. What did you think of Star Wars Visions? You and I never talked about Visions. I think
Nah,
I did it. I think I did a show.
I never
Uh,
watched them all. Yeah, I only watched a couple of them, and it was hit or miss. I saw one that I really enjoyed, and another one was like, "What the hell is this?"
on which season?
First season.
Okay. I enjoyed season 2 a
Apparently,
lot
there's a second
more.
season.
Yeah. I enjoyed season 2 a lot more than season 1. I think season 2 had a lot more hard-hitting stories that were pretty serious and pretty well thought out and written. And obviously it dealt a lot more with the Empire and dark side users, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's probably why I connected a little bit more with it.
And these are not canon, correct? These are just
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
And I think
they're
the
pretty
first
damn
one
good.
was supposed to be with Asajj Ventress, I think it said,
Yes, I think so.
which I will always think in Asajj. She is
Sure.
another underutilized character.
Yeah. Let's
You
see
got to get
what.
through. You got to get through the Darth Bane series. Oh, you got to keep going. Keep going with the Darth Bane series. You got to. I mean, that series is top notch.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you
Read
playing
that.
it?
Read that, and then read Darth Plagueis.
Yeah. I think I did it the other way around.
So I like to tell everybody read the Bane trilogy, and then read Darth Plagueis, and immediately watch episode 1. And you're welcome.
Yes. Are you playing any of the games?
I
Some new
saw.
updates.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Outlaws at all.
Yeah.
I did see that the new announcement that they had with the a turn-based game that EA is
Mhm.
putting out, and
We'll see when that happens.
yeah, I think that's later this year or next year release.
Yeah. A lot of new action figures are coming out as well. Black Series.
All right, what's your opinion on Dash Rendar? Where are we at? When are we doing our Legacy of Dash Rendar episode?
Yeah, I think soon we should talk about Dash. We got
I'd have to go back and either play or read Shadows of the Empire again.
Yeah, I think reading it, listening to the soundtrack a little bit will kind of put us in the mood, no?
Don't blame Dash for the shoulder pads that they gave him. It
Yeah.
was it was the 90s. It was Hasbro. They felt the need to give everybody shoulder pads.
Yeah. That's true. And it's funny, the comic book, he only had one set of shoulder pads, and the action figures he's got both shoulders just to kind of complete the set there. I don't know.
Yeah. More than just a Han Solo knockoff, I assure you.
Sure. But yeah, it seems like they're releasing a lot of action figures as well. Black Series from from the Dash Rendar to Mandalorian.
I'm glad we already got our huge collections that we have because again, I'm not spending $30 on an action figure. There's not enough money going around these days to spend $30 on one action figure that you're not going to do anything with except for a display.
Yeah. I mean, if I see an action figure that really, wets my whistle there and it's on sale, I'll get it.
On sale is still
on sale
$20+.
Well, it depends on the sale, I guess. But I got this at Ross's. Here, hold on a second. Let's see here. Come on, brother. I guess I can.
For those who don't shop at stores like Ross, those are like sleepers as far as finding Star Wars toys. You can randomly get pretty good finds there at cheaper prices in a lot of cases.
This is that cool. I forgot the guy's name though. It's the little hologram dude.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian friend. Yeah, there's too many characters now. I can't remember them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, we talked right before we started rolling on here. We talked about Andor, and Andor is tomorrow. Obviously, they dropped some news about Andor. Tony Gilroy said that they mixed the episodes cinematically in case Disney wanted to release the arcs in theaters, and I'm actually hoping that they show them like that tomorrow and throughout the course of the run, because I think it'll take you out if in between the 3 episodes on one night you still see credits. I would eliminate the credits and just make it like one 90-minute movie. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I hope they
Now,
do that.
it's covering 4 years. So is each block one of those years? Is that the way it's working?
Yes. And then there's like a year in between.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get that final arc is going to be Cassian walking to the ship, so he goes to the beginning of Rogue One. So that'll be really cool. And obviously there's talk about Gilroy said you're gonna, or no, Diego Luna said you're gonna be able to see Rogue One in a different light. You're gonna be able to kind of relate to these characters in a new and interesting way now that you know what's happened to them up until Rogue One. So I think it's pretty exciting. I know a lot of people are like, well, we already know what happens to them, but sometimes it's the journey and not the destination.
Yeah.
And that's is exactly what I feel. I mean, all the reviewers have said that Andor season 2 is phenomenal. It debuted at some sites are saying 100% on Rotten, and 98 on Rotten Tomatoes, depending on who you ask. But I think it's going to be one of those series where people are going to be like, wow, I mean, it's going to be phenomenal. I don't doubt it.
Yeah. And I hope it all revolves around the one thing he said to Jen near the end, or before they took off the scare. All the things that they've done for the rebellion. I'm sure that's what it is. It would be nice to see. I mean, yeah, you get what he's saying, but it'll be nice to actually see that, like, what Cassian is capable of doing.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we've seen a little bit of what he's capable of doing. So that'll be a lot of fun to see. I'm excited
What time is
for
it coming on? What time is it?
I
Do I
think
got to
it's
stay up
eight.
all night for this thing?
I think it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock our time.
Okay.
But that'll be a lot of fun. And obviously, during the course of the Andor run, we will be right here on Scarif Live talking about it, breaking it down. We'll have some guests on to parlay their opinions and tell them how wrong or how right they are.
Is there any way that you think that they could not pull off this series well? Or are you 100% certain that it's going to be a good series?
I think I am 100% certain that it's going to be a good series. I know there's a little bit of a controversy during the 3rd episode about something that we've never seen in a Star War. I'm hoping that it's done in a tasteful manner. I'm hoping that it's necessary for the story. And I hope it's it's done in a sensitive way, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be necessary to the story. I mean,
Yeah.
I know we're a little bit darker on this one, but that is definitely not a theme that we've discussed on Star Wars before.
Right. And we talked about this during the episode last week regarding grown-up Star Wars, and I know a lot of people are like,
Yeah, it's kind of ironic after we had that conversation that you
Right.
mentioned that, and I'm like, it was like, well, we just blew right past that.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
again, there's like things that I don't think need to be discussed in this fantasy realm, and I think that's one of them. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't mind, and obviously, I don't have skin of the game here, but I don't mind adult themes being part of Star Wars. I think for the most part, I think when it comes to the longevity of this franchise, something's got to flex, something's got to turn in order for it to grow narratively. I'm not sure if this is it.
But is that a turn that you want to take?
Well, I don't know. I think if I was 7 years old, no, but we are, 40 plus. So that's we're looking at this franchise with different eyes, a different perspective. So, and as it so turns out, between you and I, this particular show has been called by both of us top tier Star Wars. So what does
Yeah.
that tell you too?
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling it's going to be related to Imperial characters.
Yeah, and the suffering that they inflict on other less
Well,
subordinate
I was thinking it
characters.
might even be within the Empire.
Oh, well, that's interesting too because of the shot that we see
Deidre specifically.
Yeah,
So I think it might be going to illustrate that corruption and the
Sure.
rottenness of the Empire. But again, we don't really need to know that or see that. We already know that.
yeah,
But we'll see. It's conjecture at this point.
right. And I think from what I read, I think that happens in the 3rd episode of the first arc. So I guess caution to all those who may be affected, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, hopefully, I know they've been a lot better about putting like warnings before, if there's something like that, or if there's something like suicide. They've been a lot better at putting warnings before shows these days.
Mhm.
And I certainly hope they would in this case too, because we're talking about Star Wars
Sure. Yeah.
on Disney Plus.
Right.
If it does
right.
happen, I hope there is a warning.
Yeah. But did you see what happened in the last episode of Daredevil? Talk about needing a warning. I was having dinner and I saw that and I'm like, whoa.
Nope, I haven't watched the episodes before that yet either. So, how many episodes is that? Can I binge that one?
Eight.
Eight, like every other series out there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Star Wars Celebration dropped some things we were excited about, some things not so much. I do feel like I've seen a lot of people maybe who were not at Celebration kind of claim that that they weren't as excited this year for some of the announcements that were made. And obviously, when you're at a celebration, you get infused with the energy of fans around you, the electricity of the activities around you. You can't walk away from an actual Star Wars celebration and feel like you missed something because the energy is palpable. But some of the folks that maybe watched some of the announcements from their their couch were not too blown away from what I can tell from some folks that have posted that. So what are you most excited about going forward from Star Wars Celebration?
I mean, it's gotta be. I'm with the chat. It's Maul. It's Maul all the way. Again, I'd have to read the articles again to see what other things I might be interested in. No, it's Maul. I mean, again, the passion that Sam Witwer has for the character, and I think there's good stories to be told there. Maul's one of those characters. You want to talk about perseverance?
Yeah.
Dude gets in half, and he's still. I mean, and then discarded, thrown away by his master, his teacher, and he keeps pushing after that. And I'm not going to say that I'm not. I am very cautiously excited about Starfighter, just because I think it might look really cool. Again, there's a lot of things going against it, the time period and stuff like that. But if they can write a decent storyline to go along with, it's probably gonna be beautiful. I
Sure.
think it'll be a decent movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Only time will tell. I know I was, like I said, I was very disappointed that I did not hear any Ryan Johnson news of his new trilogy. That's neither
That's
here
a
nor
shame.
there. It's a shame, yeah. Andy from Holo Chronicles showed up here towards the end. Thank you for stopping by. And he mentioned Star Wars Celebration Los Angeles, and I have a feeling you might see a whole bunch of Red 5 Network folks in LA in 2 years. Star Wars will be 50 years old. I think it would be
It's gonna be hard to get tickets.
Yeah,
Those things are going to go quick.
Real quick. But I think, even if we just hang around the convention center, walking around in a
Red
lonely
5 barbecue.
stormtrooper outfit, a Red 5 barbecue would be really, really great. Definitely would love to see some folks. And obviously before that, C2E2 in Chicago is in March of next year. So hopefully, probably not as big a deal to come up to Chicago and hang out for a weekend. That should be also
That
on.
seems to be a really cool event, though.
It is. It happens every weekend, Brad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys post pictures of C2E2 every other week, but like I tell everybody, like, if you there, like you said, there's nothing like Star Wars Celebration, the vibe, the energy there. But I tell people all the time, if you can't make it there, get out to even to a local Comic-Con.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're still bonding with other nerds, even if nobody talks to each other at Comic-Cons. But you get to get out there. There's still some amazing cosplay at local Comic-Cons. So support those who spent hours, really days and months getting their costumes ready. Support them, and there's a lot of good local artists, writers, and you'll occasionally you'll meet the famous ones too. Get out, celebrate your nerddom, and you don't have to make to a Star Wars Celebration, but by all means get out to something.
Absolutely. And like I said, I think the energy is palpable between fans and folks that really like the same stuff that you do, whether you're a cynical Star Wars fan online. It really benefits you to kind of hang out with other fans and just kind of remind yourself why you love what it is that you love, without the fog of social media, I think.
And go with a budget.
Yeah.
Bring cash. Go with a budget. Otherwise, you can find yourself a few $100s in the hole after.
Yeah. My first lightsaber when I went to Washington, D.C. to the Smithsonian Star Wars exhibit. I've told you this before. It conveniently emptied out into the gift room, the gift shop. And my first lightsaber was $1,000.
Well, I spent $80 on a Black Series Revan, Darth Revan, because I'd never seen him as a Black Series. And like I said, $80, and then I saw him a couple weeks later for $20. I forget, like Target, but it was one of those impulse. Like, I had to have it right then and there.
Sure,
so
yeah, absolutely.
Just go with a budget when you go to any event like that.
Yeah, and remember, sometimes on the last day, some of the vendors might get you a deal. They don't want to repack everything and send it back. But yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Andor season 2 tomorrow night. We'll be watching, and we'll be talking about it the following Saturday on Scarif Live, 7:00 here on YouTube, and it's going to be exciting. Hopefully, if anybody is watching and wants to come on one of the Saturdays to talk about Andor and break it down with us, our DMs are open. Just send us a message or shoot us an email. We would love to have you. Any final thoughts on Star?
Yeah, I would love to hear dissenting voices on Andor too. If we have anybody that has disagrees with us, we don't always like people to agree with us. In fact, we've called ourselves Switzerland for many years now. We'd love to have a conversation with someone who doesn't enjoy it, just to find out why you're wrong. By all means, come on the show. We'll talk about it.
Absolutely, yeah. Loki Jarson. Excellent. All right. Any final thoughts on Star Wars Celebration other than go to one or go to a convention? Or
yeah, I mean, I'll give it a solid. I'll give it a solid B as far as celebrations go. There's some good announcements, and seem to be pretty good energy. Like you said, always really good energy at those things. Some decent announcements. Now let's just watch them, see if they can back it up.
Sure.
We're making these things that they talked about. But,
well,
good lead into Andor for sure.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Andy from Holochronicles says that there's been a few times over the years that things get announced but don't come to fruition.
Yeah,
but Celebration has a good track record of putting the stuff on there that will most likely get made. And yeah, it seems like some of the things that have been talked about by the fandom were not part of the stream, the event, and obviously it might be for good reason. Maybe it's a little more on the back burner. Like you mentioned, nobody in depth talked about the Ray movie. Some of the things that were obviously talked about prior to Celebration were not in there. But definitely some surprises. The Mall animated series was a surprise.
We should do one show on that, just on that timeline that KK made all those years ago, where she announced all the Star Wars projects, and let's do a percentage check on how many of those actually came to fruition.
Right. I would, as K2SO would say, well, the opposite of what he would say. I think the average would be low, very low.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 10% on that.
I think so too. Yeah, absolutely. So, the Scare of Scuttlebutt podcast, weekly audio podcasts on Thursdays. I'll probably drop this in the podcatchers as well, for folks that are not into YouTube's. But Saturday nights during the run of Andor, we'll be discussing the story arcs and episodes right here as well. So make sure you subscribe. And if you have any thoughts on what we said today regarding Star Wars Celebration announcements, send us an email over at scarifscuttlebutt@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail. We do have one voicemail that Brad will I'll share with you what Nicholas Schaefer said regarding a past episode. We'll talk about that. But we'd love to hear your voicemails on stuff that we talk about, whether for or against, or what your opinions are. Add it to the discussion. You can reach us at 773-234-8659. That is the Scare of Scuttlebutt hotline.
Yeah, we definitely need to do another show with people asking questions. Those are some of my favorites.
Absolutely. And those are some of the favorites from our followers. They really enjoy the voicemail stuff, so that's a lot of fun. Good stuff. Excellent. All right, Brad. Tomorrow, Andor season 2. Wednesday, I'm with Spencer talking about the last issue of Dark Visions, the comic book review, and we're going to announce our next comic book review series on Wednesday, since that'll be the last issue of Dark Visions. And we got to continue this. People are enjoying our discussions on the comic books.
I found all my comic books, so maybe I'll be able to join you on the next one.
Excellent. Yeah, and then Saturday, like I said, Scarif Live, 7:00 on YouTube. Come back, subscribe, hit the like, do all those wonderful things. And remember, we are part of the Red 5 Network. For the rest of the Red 5 Network and more Red 5 Network shenanigans, head on over to bio.link/Red5 and look for a show that you like and let us know what you find. Until next time, Brad, why don't you take us out and tell us what's going on?
Don't bother us tomorrow. We'll be watching Andor. And that's a Scuttlebutt.
Thank you very much, chat people. You guys rock. Thank you so